As philosopher Curtis Blow once said, basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. Well, good news for Mr. Blow. His favorite sport is back. I'm Jish Sokolsky. Let's start this right with the Knicks. New York opened its season yesterday with a big test when it took on Cleveland, the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference last season. And this one was full of drama. Let's take a quick recap, a quick look at this game. From the jump, really, Cleveland was outmatched in the paint. You see this pass to Karl Anthony Towns with a one-handed flush in the first quarter, and it really was the Knicks defense that set up the offense. Look at this steal and score the other way from Mikal Bridges. He finished with a double-double on the evening. Mikal wasn't done, though. It doesn't matter who's defending him. That's Evan Mobley. Put it in his face and won. That could be a defensive player of the year right there, Evan Mobley, and he was getting picked on all day. Jalen Brunson down the baseline over Evan Mobley in the third quarter, gave the Knicks a nice 12-point cushion. Then in the fourth, to seal it, it's the bench guys getting involved. Jordan Clarkson, the latest signee, finishes with a two-handed jam, puts the Knicks up by an insurmountable lead. You know it's not a Tom Thibodeau team when the bench guys get involved. The Knicks take it 119 to 112, and it was a great day for New York's first five. 4 starters eclipsed double digits in scoring, and bench microwave Deuce McBride helped out with a crisp 15 points. Forward OG Anunoby and center Karl Anthony Towns each added over 10 boards as well. It was the first win in New York for head coach Mike Brown, and it came against a familiar team. Brown coached Cleveland from 2005 to 2010 and in the 2013-14 season, taking the Cavs to their first finals appearance.
Hey, Jish, thanks so much for joining us. Well, speaking of stuff you said on the bench this morning, you said Autry's seat was hotter than a cup of Pete's coffee. Was there anything you saw out of his decisions tonight that make you think he's feeling any bit of pressure?
Well, I'll tell you that I saw something in his actions that made him feel like his seat was hotter than Pete's coffee. He was standing up, pacing, frustrated the entire game. The body language was just not good from the front man tonight. And yeah, you lose to Boston College, which is automatically something that heats that seat up. This game really wasn't going to cool it down one way or the other, right? You beat Virginia Tech. What happens? They're just a low to mid-50s team in the net rankings. This doesn't necessarily boost your tournament hopes. This was really only a game where Red Autry's job questions could get even hotter, and when you see tweets saying that there were parents of players questioning his decisions, when a fan on the Jumbotron was showing a Fire Autry sign, it's just a sign of the writing on the wall at this point, in my opinion. I don't think that his seat has cooled down at all. In fact, it's even heated up even more after tonight's loss. Sam, if you've heard Syracuse coach Fran Brown talk about coaches he's going up against, you're bound to hear the civil tipping of the cap. Broad gestures of respect are nothing new for the up-and-coming coach, but it goes a little deeper with Duke's bench boss Manny Diaz. Brown may give kudos to a Brent Key or a FaceTime call to Dabo Swinney, but he went out of his way to say this about the face of the Blue Devils.
Oh, we cool. Like, you know, I could always call him and talk to him. We see each other. You know, we would sit down. We at the ACC head coaches meetings. You know, I'm going to go sit with him. So we good. Like, he's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a great man. Our kids got to know each other a little bit real quick. My wife and his wife know who each other are. So, like, you know, I got respect for him. I like him a lot.
So what about Diaz and Brown's relationship is different? For that, let's take you back to 2018. Fran Brown had just finished his lone season as Baylor's defensive back coach under his former boss at Temple, Matt Rule. After a 7-6 season, the 36-year-old Brown felt ready to go back to be the head coach for the Owls, a school that's just a stone's throw from his hometown in Camden, New Jersey. Unfortunately, an out-of-towner from a bigger school had the same idea, and on December 13th, Manny Diaz, Miami's defensive coordinator, was selected as the program's new leader. Even though their careers didn't quite cross paths at that point, the very next day, Fran Brown would be the first hire on Manny's staff. Fran would be Manny's assistant head coach and would be a co-defensive coordinator. That's a big nod of confidence from a coach who just oversaw the nation's #1 passing defense. Brown had the chance to coach under one of the game's best defensive minds in his own backyard, where his roots to high school football will take recruiting to the next level. It seemed as though Temple was on the up and up for all of 17 days. Just like Brown, Diaz saw a head coach opening in his hometown and couldn't pass it up. On December 30th, 2018, Manny Diaz left Temple to take the Miami head coaching job. Well, that means Brown had another shot after New Year's to interview for the coaching job again, but yet again, Brown was passed over for Rod Carey. Brown stayed on Carey's staff as the co-DC, but not as the assistant head coach. He left Philly after one season, and Fran would have to wait 4 more long years before his shot finally came for Syracuse in 2023. But the Cuse job wasn't the only ACC vacancy that year. After 2 seasons in Happy Valley, Brown's former boss, Manny Diaz, was set to be the commander-in-chief of Duke. That set the table for the colleagues to eventually collide today. Brown and Diaz may be facing each other for the first time, but they know each other quite well thanks to 17 wild days in Philadelphia. Sam, back to you.
I'm going to quote former Arizona Cardinals head coach, former Eagles defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon when I ask this question. When the players got on the bus, if they drove to the airport or if they took the team bus, did they have a fire in their gut? They better get one. The team only started to play well with 10 minutes left when they were down by 32 points. So my question is, kind of related to yours, Gabe, why can't they just pretend that they are down by 30 points for the entire game? Because that level of desperation, that level of we need this bad was just non-existent through the game's first 30 minutes. It was not there. It only took them being down 32 and for UNC to finally, I guess, ease up a little bit and realize the game was already won, for them to finally realize, oh, shoot, we need a fire in our gut. No, you should have got on the bus to UNC knowing you're playing the number 14 team in the land, knowing that there are fans that are calling for your coach's head, that are calling for you to be benched. Where was that fire when you got on the bus? You didn't bring it. You did not act like you were down 30 from the moment you got on the plane, and it showed when you hit the floor. It took them 5 minutes to score more than 2 points. They did not come out with the fire. Throughout the rest of the first half, they didn't have the fire at all as UNC started to pull away and get those steals, hit them with the full court press. No fire. Only when there was literally nothing else to lose did Syracuse play with any sort of fire, any sort of synergy, any sort of ball movement, any sort of desperation. Guys were standing around. Guys didn't have their hands up on defense. Basic, day one things. It took a wake-up call in the sense that you got punched in the mouth so hard that you had to wake up. It's like they were asleep on the couch. UNC dumped a bucket of water on their head. Because they had nothing else to lose, they started playing like they had nothing to lose. Well, guess what, Syracuse? You're out of the tournament. You don't have anything left to lose this season. There is nothing left for you to do except for punch hard and play with a fire in your gut. Pretend like you are down 30 when you're eating breakfast in the morning. Pretend like you are down 30 when you get on the bus. Pretend like you're down 30 when you're in class doing a test. Live your life like you're down 30 points, because if that's the effort you give when you're down 30 points, then that should be the bare minimum. Live your life like you're down 30, like you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and Syracuse can maybe put together a respectable performance for the rest of the season, one that's worth these fans' time and attention that they are still giving to this team.
You know, could they petition the ACC to have them start each game down 30 points?
That would be awesome.
Is that possible?
That would be great.
Just you know, why not?
Have a team just start going with all that pent-up rage and anger.
They'll be in the lead by halftime.
I'll tell you what, they'll move without the ball.
Yeah.
At least that. They will move without the ball.
All 5 players will move.
They'll play like they're a family. They'll play like they're brothers. They'll play like they have something to prove.
They'll know each other's names.
They will know each other's names, birthdays, middle names, dogs' names, maybe addresses.
Girlfriends.
Favorite foods.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it. Favorite vacation spot?
Cancun?
Well, hopefully not there.
I might be speaking a little too soon there.
Hopefully.
Hopefully it's
in a perfect world.
In a perfect world, Syracuse can win out.
Yeah.
And win the ACC tournament and make March Madness, and things are back to normal and everyone is all sunshine and rainbows. Adrian Autry gets a 10-year contract because he just coached so well down the stretch. All the players, they get their jerseys in the rafters. That's if all goes according to plan. Right now it's not going according to plan. It really is just the lack of energy and emphasis and focus because the team just, I don't know if the self-awareness is lacking, but you cannot come out here if you're, say, like a Nathan George or someone, or say that the fan disrespect is crazy when you're doing nothing except saying we have to be better. You can give us lip service all you want. You can give the media, you can give fans lip service all you want. Doesn't change the fact that you are night in, night out as Augie said, showing consistent inconsistency.
2 minutes gone in the second half. Clemson leads 33-30 despite Syracuse getting the first bucket of the half. Left wing, it's Justin Porter up top for the center, Carter Welling. Welling down the alley, picks up the dribble, guarded by Kyle, swings it up top. Godfrey, guarded by White. Over to the left wing, Buckner, down the middle of the paint, puts it up, stripped away. Nate George got a hand on it. King starts the break, one-on-one, spin around, puts up the lefty, lay it's in. What a move from Nate Kings. Give him his crown, he put him in the spin cycle. 33-32, Orange trailed Clemson, 17:30 to play in the half.
So smooth from the lefty. A spin move like that in transition, that's not easy to do going full speed.
Walleen has it, far side wing. Holds the ball above his head, finds Welling top of the key. Handoff, Porter. No, he keeps it himself, down to the lower block. He pump fakes, spins around, puts up a shot. He's fouled. William Kyle has his hands on his hips in disbelief. He did not think there was a foul, and neither does this JMA Wireless Dome crowd. Welling was falling away. Kyle had two hands up in the air, but he just barely thrusted his hips into Welling as he was falling away. That was enough of a bump to bring Welling off his feet onto the floor and to give him 2 free throws.
I will say, though, if you're William Kyle, you have to start to expect pump fakes from Carter Welling.
First one in and out, a ball don't lie moment. Carter Welling, the Utah Valley transfer, was the 2025 WAC Defensive Player of the Year with 1.8 blocks. But this season he's been doing it on the offensive end, averaging 10.5 points, second on the team. Second one's up, and it's bottoms. So Clemson back up to a 2-point lead. It's 34-32 in favor of the Tigers. 17-12 to play in the second half.
It's been a good battle between the two of them, but Welling has had Kyle off balance all night. Gets him with a pump fake that last time down, and Kyle on the recovery picks up a foul. Welling gets 2 free throws out of it.
Nick Davidson checks in for Welling. The 6th man today, transfer from Nevada. Orange with it. Kyle, short corner, far side on Godfrey. Puts a shoulder into him, spins around, puts up the mid-range, off the front iron. Rebound George, the putback, no good. Off the rim, it falls out of bounds. No, a displacement foul called against RJ Godfrey underneath the rim.
Nate George couldn't believe it, Jish. Missed a bunny. Nobody home, right under the rim, left side, and he just bounced it off the rim.
George to inbound. He finds Kyle, elbow, far side. He loses the ball. It's spun away from his hands, hits the deck, but Clemson has it. It's a 2-on-1 break. Help coming for the Orange. Buckner inside, misses off the right side of the rim. Walleen, the putback, and it's up in the air. 36-32, Clemson over Syracuse. George has it straight away, flicks cross-court Starling. Meanders to the top of the key. Goes slot to slot to George on the far side. Down the baseline, pull up 2, left it short. Rebound pulled in by Davidson, the 24-year-old forward for the Tigers, who starts the break the other way. Clemson slowing it down the way they like to play. 16 minutes to play in the second half, and up by 4 points. Porter has it, flicks cross court. Dallas Thomas into the game, or rather Ace Buckner loses the ball, but Clemson gets it right back. Sadiq White tried to start the break, he lost it as well. Porter, left wing, dribbles top of the key, guarded by George. To his right hand, puts up a contested 2, no good. Poor shot selection from the Tigers. Kyle the rebound, Syracuse the other way. Donnie Freeman, Akir Swari, and Tyler Betsy set to check in at the next dead ball for the Orange. Benchmouth getting this going early. Starling, near wing, pulls up for 3. Left it to the left. The line drive 3-pointer was off the mark. Clemson pulls down the rebound. Jake Walleen walks it across the timeline. And it appears as though Adrian Altry called a timeout to get his guys in. That's 3 substitutes, Betsy, Freeman, and Soare in for the Orange, and 1 for the Tigers. Butta Johnson will come in when we return. Syracuse had a strong start to the half, but Clemson has fought back to a 4-point lead. It's 36-32, Tigers over the Orange, 15:26 to play in the game. You're listening to Syracuse men's basketball on the original home of the Orange, WAER.